Hey guys, it's Saru, and if you've been at all paying attention to my social media like Twitter for example, then you know that it's been an interesting fucking week. However, last week I released a video that stated that I was going to do an interview with Halrath, who is one of the product managers for TERA console. Now, since then, many things have happened. I've gotten a cold, which is probably why I sound like absolute garbage right now, so I apologize. My computer died on me last night, and I had to spend the entire night re-downloading and reinstalling absolutely everything. So, the original premise was for me to ask Halrath some questions that I had in mind, and some of the community questions that people had submitted on my last video, and it would be pretty easy. But of course, bad things come in three, don't they? And we had technical difficulties where we couldn't really do a voice interview. So, as a substitute, my dear friends, I will read his responses in my best Halrath impressions that I can. And if you just want to skip this video entirely and read it all on my website, it will be all available there if you guys want to read it there. It will have the full interview written up instead, so wish me well. Thank you for joining me today, Halrath. I think this should be quite the momentous occasion. Before we begin, I, as much as others, would love to know more about you, especially what a product manager does, or in this case, what your role in TERA console is.
Well, a product manager handles a ton of stuff for a video game. I coordinate all the tasks with the different teams: community, art, operations, writing, QA, doing a shocking amount of writing, generate projections of monthly performances, budget, not to mention all the data entry for in-game events, products, and so forth.
That's awesome. Interesting choice for accent, Saru. So I recently did a video, and before I continue, I apologize for sounding like I'm sick, because, well, I am. But going back, I did a video asking the community to submit their questions, and it took all day yesterday. But thanks to my lovely girlfriend, we were able to go through them and filter the questions of what we thought were basically the most important. So with that said and done, I'll ask my own questions first. Now, knowing how PC TERA is, and trust me, I can already see the gift that Bobcat made being thrown at me. Now, it's always tickled the line of pay to win. With lack of items and materials that players need to actually progress in the game and nothing really being done about that, do you see TERA console taking a different approach and perhaps having those items more accessible to players rather than through the cash shop? I'm being vague because I don't want to name the items, but I think this kind of makes sense.
Well, TERA has never crossed the line with pay to win, but not by a long shot. Our philosophy has always been pay for convenience, not victory. We also try to keep things balanced and accessible. And we always will.
Now, there's a sense in the community that Masse and Bluehole doesn't really care about TERA at all, and in fact, TERA console was just ported over as a way to make a quick buck and then leave it for dead. Some of those concerns come from the fact that the founder packs took so long to be taken off the PlayStation and Xbox stores. Is there any reason for that, or rather, is there something you'd like to tell the community that is watching this for what's happened?
The port to console took over 2 years of work, so the idea that it was a way to make a quick buck is not accurate at all. As for the founder packs, well, it's quite common for those to be available during launch window, which is usually longer than 2 weeks. TERA PC is going on for 6+ years of live service, and we're barely 6 months into our live service. So long is a subjective term.
Alright, again, interesting choice for the accent. Well, let's get off the hard questions for a bit. Death Rack is coming. That is the hype of the game right now, and rightfully so. We know that Broken Prison was taken off, and now we have Velik's Hole, Democron Factory at 417 item level, and the Abscess coming in. In the latest news post, in fact, that you posted, you let it be known that there would be new dungeons monthly, and on Discord we knew that the hard mode versions of these dungeons would be coming mid-month. How will that be working up to Valkyrie, and are we able to know what those dungeons are now?
So my plan, which I hope players will find glorious and engaging, is to keep rolling out new content and events every couple of weeks. We all know the Valkyrie is coming in January, but we've got a long way to go until then. Even after the Valkyrie arrives, there's still going to be more to do. I know our players had to endure a drought, which was unfortunate, but that's something we were able to change. My plan now should keep people happy, engaged, and hungry for more.
Interesting. I think the majority of the community is excited about the content coming, but they're more so wanting to get those bugs fixed and optimization added to the game. With issues on PlayStation, for example, where it takes up to a minute delay when you go to the PlayStation home screen, and basically just going back to the game itself, lag and server problems, what can we expect from Masse or Bluehole to remedy this?
We are all concerned about bugs and issues. Cobalt Dragon and I bring things to Bluehole's attention, push for resolution, and try to stay abreast of their work. But it's never going to be easy because they are the developer, and we are the publisher. We have to let them do their work and give them the best information, the most details, so they can track down the root causes and fix them.
Okay, well, being more than 6 months now where it took so long to get content, will players be dealing with this type of delay in the future?
Bloody hell, I hope not.
Okay, well, one last thing for me. I know you guys could have named the PvE server Wonderhome, but there is one of the suggestions I've had for a long time. In fact, Richard, who's an avid player, an awesome guild member and friend of mine, and I have spoken great lengths about this. Is there ever going to be a possibility of removing dungeon entries, even if it's just for an event, or perhaps permanently increasing the dungeon entries in general?
Well, dungeon entry limits are part of the game designer's effort to control the economy. We are sensitive to making changes to it because, well, things often spiral off in ways no one could imagine. We've done additional dungeon entry events in the past, and probably will in the future, but we'll probably never utterly remove them.
Awesome, thank you. So, I've collected a few questions from the community, and as I've previously stated, there were quite a few. This one comes from Quickscope Master 23. By the way, your name is something else. Question is, when can we expect Class Awakening system on console?
Not for some time. No. We haven't even gotten to the new gear system, and Awakening came after that.
Okay. From Angry Panda, an awesome viewer who I've seen on many of my videos and live streams, asks, will we be getting the Ellen Gunner? If so, when?
Yep. After Valkyrie.
Okay, tying it with this question, coming from Vampire Seducer, will we be able to change the race of a pre-existing Gunner class once it releases for Ellen?
If you so desire, yes.
The rest of the questions I was going to ask are really just gender lock. Now we know that Blueclaw has been teasing the fact that they're willing to add all gender and race counterparts to the classes. Do you have any idea if that would come to TERA in general?
Well, let's temper your expectations on this. Bluehole is adding gender/race combinations to TERA, but you might have noticed that it's happening one at a time. Ellen Gunner, male brawler, etc. Now it's going to take a long time before everyone has everything. There won't be a massive update and we suddenly have Baraka Reapers and Amani Valkyries. Gradual. Over time.
Cool, so moving away from that, Christoph Linnenkampe, pretty sure I said your name correctly, asks, will the rework/buff come with the upcoming patch? Cause they said there were going to be some class balancing updates.
As we have already said, the warriors receive a big update to the skills and no longer share edge. That's all we've said.
Okay. Hakumen X1 asks, other than the warrior, which classes will be getting their skill updates?
See above.
Okay. Interesting. Theos Mustache, a pretty awesome content creator for TERA console, asks the following. Will Masse Entertainment ever release Enchantment Advantage events on console? I don't know about the PvE server, but in my server I've seen many players quit TERA after failing to enchant their ambush over 100 or even 200 times in a row.
On PC and console, the enchanted events only work to +9, which is not much benefit to those players. We try to keep an eye on things and, help players where we see the need, but again, with the goal of not wrecking the server economy while we do it.
Okay, well now for the cosmetic part of this interview.
Yes, buy more cosmetics.
Diamond Destroyer asks, will it be possible for Masse Entertainment to add the ability to unsoulbind cosmetics, mounts, and pets, especially for characters that we want to delete?
The Magic 8 Ball says unclear.
The Last L asks, which much love, I might add, will there be more cosmetics coming to console? What about new hairstyles? I'm a costume fanatic. LOL.
Yes, heck yes. Some of my favorite items are coming up in the Death Rack update, and there's going to be even more in the future.
Okay. Rising Solaris asks, will we ever get the Federation Bill's cosmetics/mounts, like the Brawler's Kitten Mittens, or the Witch Hat and the Daffy mount?
Well, the Witch's Hat is available in the store now. The Wacky Quackin' mounts are on my list for engagement events. So the answer is yes, you'll eventually see them somewhere.
With this Death Rack update, are there any dungeons that will be leaving TERA console? This question comes from Dennis Zanol.
Dennis, you'll have to wait for the patch notes, but my advice is, get any dungeons in you want now because some of them are going away.
Sidara S and a few other asks, can we please have a trading system in-game like PC?
Well, we have requested this, so I know it's on our list of stuff we'd like, but I don't have a timeline on when.
Do you think it's possible for Masse or Bluehole to bring the ability to show how many hours someone has played in-game? This comes from Nakomi.
Definitely possible.
Now there are lots of PC related questions to compare the game versions, so I will sum it all down and hope maybe you can answer these questions for the players. What PC features do you think that we'll see on console? For example, we know that we're going to be getting the LFG tool with this update if you'd like to talk about that.
Well, we added the LFG tool because we wanted players to have a way to customize their grouping options. You see, not everyone wants to be in a big guild. Not everyone wants to run the same content. And not everyone wants to instance match. Shocking, I know. LFG will let people put together groups on their own terms. As for the other PC features, it'd be wild speculation.
So other tools like renaming a pet, having a game server clock, last logged in information from the guild system, special emotes, wardrobe system, and so on and so forth, do you think that we'll ever see those in TERA console anytime soon?
Soon is a subjective term. Some of these, yeah. Others, not so sure.
Now, with Deathrack, I will admit there are a lot of promises. However, TERA's population has been declining due to the bugs, optimization, content, etc. How will things be different moving forward? This question comes from JJFX Multimedia.
The biggest complaint we saw from players was the lack of content. Whenever new content came, so did the players. If there wasn't more to do, however, they left. Yes, they did. Now, I think players will see a very different experience as they play through Deathrack, and that the game is moving in a very different direction.
A couple more questions, I promise. Hakuman X1 asks, will there be better ways to obtain gold in game, especially on PvP servers?
Elite status has gold boosts. That's a great way. Doing your daily vanguards is a good avenue for gold. Play the broker. Participate in events. Leveling events usually drops decent chunks of gold into players' wallets.
2 questions from Richard Green. Is there a possibility to rework the current Masterwork Alcahest box? He states, there are cruxes and battle potions in there, which are both very easy to get. I would like to see loot boxes in general have increased rewards across the board. Still, with the same RNG, but with added incentive to buy the box in the first place.
I'll see what I can do.
The second question is, can you increase permanently the amount of vanguards we can do in one day? This will eliminate the need to do double vanguard as events so often, and allow for other events to be thought out and implemented. This is great for people who like to farm on multiple characters.
This comes down to managing the economy and progress rates. You see, Richard, permanent adjustments aren't something we'll do lightly.
One more question from Serdar, who seems to be your biggest fan, by the way. Why, oh why don't you like tuna pizza, Halrath?
Because I have a cell.
Thank you, Halrath, for this interview. I'm a big fan of TERA, been loving the console version, even though most people ask me why, I have no idea how to answer them. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Sarumonin. We appreciate your energy, support, and participation.
Oh, one last thing actually. I see that Masse is going ahead and taking part of helping with the Japanese PlayStation version of TERA. What does that mean? Will we be seeing Japanese crossovers with TERA NA and EU, such as Hello Kitty, Attack on Titan, and perhaps other things?
Well, launching TERA on PlayStation in Japan is basically adding another region in length. The PlayStation North America, PlayStation Europe, and now, or soon, PlayStation Japan. They'll run the same version and the same content. As for crossovers, yeah, that's on my list. I wrote the Attack on Titan crossover proposal, and I'm keen to get some of that gear on my PlayStation Castanic army.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell the TERA console community about the upcoming update, or whatever the case?
Tell your friends, spread the word, and thank you all for playing.
Well guys, that's it. Thank you guys for watching the interview. It was basically all me, and I think I'm losing my mind at this point. Much love to everyone for the support and for reaching out to me on Discord or Twitter about how I was feeling and on just dealing with so much stuff, so thank you so much guys. Make sure to subscribe and click that adorable bell to know when I upload a brand new video. Much love, and as always, till next time friends.